Hello. For my presentation, we're going to be taking a look at the effects of AI on teaching, the classroom, and education as a whole. In the year 2025, students usually have a wealth of tools at their disposal. Um, Anything from your library to online resources to contacting your teachers. Uh, But there's one that's made more waves than any other in recent memory, and that would be artificial intelligence, otherwise known as AI. AI has made an incredible impact on the ecosystem of the classroom, and with particularly the release of ChatGPT in 2022, it sent waves across the entire internet. Pretty much anybody who's anybody has heard of either AI or the programs in particular, things like Copilot, ChatGPT, and so on. These things change the digital landscape. And while AI can be useful for students and teachers, it is my personal belief after a lot of this research that, at least currently, it should be held at arm's length and be treated with a certain amount of respect, so to say, and gravitas. There have been incidents like Microsoft Copilot already coming under fire, getting students in trouble who have used it for plagiarism. And those students might not have intended that, but that's just where we are with these AI systems currently. And with that being said, I believe that it's more important now than ever, even if it is tempting to focus on traditional school. And students have begun to utilize these programs for a variety of reasons. Certain classes will even ask you to use AI. So it's hard for certain students to navigate this climate. And it's a fairly recent phenomenon, one that's been pretty normalized so far. I mean, you can't scroll through Facebook without seeing some sort of AI usage in your news feed. This creates an entirely new selection of problems surrounding it, trying to figure out its usage and the ethics behind it and the professionality behind it. And as more and more students begin to experiment with AI, teachers are going to have to learn how to adapt and overcome the hurdles that come along with its usage. AI on its own is simply a tool. And I want to state that on its own, it's not good or evil, but it can be used for both good and bad. And while a student or teacher may find a variety of ethically and professionally sound ways to use it, it's also my experience that it can very easily become a crutch. There's a slew of reasons to be careful with AI. Mostly right now, what I've noticed is that it tends to pick and grab content from different places. Again, meaning that even if a student hasn't intended it, it's very easy to use the program and end up plagiarizing someone else. Which also kind of defeats the purpose of instruction. You know, when you're in an English class, for instance, your English teacher wants to read your writing. Otherwise, how are they supposed to correct you and help you become a better writer if the writing you're submitting isn't your own? According to an article published on campustechnology.com, a whopping 86% of students polled had admitted to the use of AI, which is an incredibly high number. And of those polled, 58% reported feeling that they do not have sufficient AI knowledge and skills. And that comes directly from Campus Technology, which I feel is a major problem far more than the existence of the programs themselves. I think if schools would have programs or classes to teach people how to become more literate with AI and how to best utilize it correctly over the next few years, I think that would do wonders as far as normalizing its usage and teaching students about the ups and downs, the positives and negatives that come with it. Because the likelihood is that AI isn't going anywhere anytime soon. If anything, we're only going to see it become more normalized and its usage become more widespread over time. So the best thing we can do right now is be prepared and be knowledgeable. A lot of what most people have probably already heard is negative. And according to a survey of 1,000 students from a website called Best Colleges, results show that 56% of college students have used AI on assignments or exams, and another 41% students say they have not, and 4% prefer not to answer. So again, another survey that's skewing very high as far as students that have actually utilized these programs, even with how new they are and how dangerous they can be. With that being the case, it's important more now than ever that educators stay vigilant and on top of things so as not to allow students to submit plagiarized work, even if that isn't their intention. And mostly I've focused on students so far, but it's also affected teaching in another monumental way. Referencing an article published by the Iowa College of Education, teachers can and have utilized AI for a variety of positive reasons, including personalized learning, intelligent tutoring systems, automated grading systems, and administrative applications, showing that AI isn't just something to be wary of or to keep at an arm's length. When utilized correctly, like any other tool, it can be used for good or to help for good reasons. And in conclusion, after all this research, I found that AI isn't something to be afraid of necessarily. And while its effect on education can and will likely be for years to come felt, it isn't such a doom and gloom scenario. AI is just another tool for students and teachers, and it's imperative that we educate ourselves in all its facets and nuances that come along with it. And with the correct amount of respect and due diligence, AI will absolutely have a place in education. Just like internet before. It's best that we learn all these things so we can keep ourselves and the next generation informed as these technologies continue to be used and adapted, and they're not going anywhere. I personally believe that with it being such a new phenomenon, though, considering the current issues that the technology faces when it comes to things like plagiarism, it's best to utilize it as little as possible as a student or in the classroom, unless your teacher tells you otherwise. But that with more time and research, just like computers and the internet before it, there will be a place for artificial intelligence in education.